This video will describe how to calculate the mean and standard deviation for the data in the first sample mentioned in the lesson plan for this week. These are 5 observations of household incomes in a geographical area. If we want to calculate the mean or average of these outcomes, we can use the average formula in Excel. We type the word average after the equal sign, and then after the open parentheses, highlight the data for the values that we want to average. This is the sample mean. The standard deviation is what we can think of as the average distance of these observations from the mean. We'll calculate this in a couple of different steps. First, we'll take the value of each sample point, which I've just referred to in this label as x, minus the mean. Type the equal sign, click on the first observation, and then subtract the mean. So that we can copy this formula down the spreadsheet, I'm going to enter a $sign in front of the row and the column. The $signs are called absolute references, and what they will do is allow you to copy this formula to the other 4 rows. One way to copy this is just to drag on the corner of the cell we want to copy and pull it down to the next 4 rows. Notice what the absolute reference has done if we click on the second observation. The B7 reference has not changed, but the reference to the sample point has now moved to B3. Now we're going to take the difference of each sample point from the mean and square that value. We can simply do this by typing the formula for the first observation minus the mean squared. The caret symbol is entered by using Shift and then the number 6, and it refers to an exponent in Excel. Again, we can just drag this formula down to the other 4 rows. I'm going to go ahead and calculate the sum of these squared differences from the mean using the sum formula. I type the equal sign and then SUM for sum, the open parentheses, and then highlight the 5 values. This is a very large number, so Excel has changed this to a scientific notation. We could change the format if we like, but there's not necessarily any reason to. If I just change it to a number and expand the column, I'll actually see all of the digits. If we take this sum and divide it by the number of sample observations minus 1, we will get the sample variance. In this case, the number of sample observations minus 1 is 4 because there are 5 observations. The standard deviation, then, is the square root of the variance. The square root formula is SQRT in Excel. So I type SQRT and in parentheses then reference the variance. Standard deviation is 15,968.7. In other words, this is the average distance of the observations from their mean value of 41,000. It's important to understand the standard deviation by making this calculation a couple of times, but Excel has a built-in standard deviation function for a sample called stDev.s, and if we use this function and inside the parentheses just enter the original sample data, Excel can perform the same calculation in the background. Be sure that you can calculate the standard deviation in each way.